It was tough. I remember my first assignment, my first two shows, Ricky, I wanted to quit. My first two
All that
shows,
stress got to you, huh?
I was really like, this is not for me. And when that saying goes, it gets easier, absolutely. But again, you learn it. I was never taken, and I didn't need to be taken by the hand, but said, all right, follow me on this show, shadow me. This is what you need to do. No, my first show was like, okay, you're going to Boston
Right away,
on a
too.
Telefutura, and here's your point of contact. Here's the local promoter, and these are our fighters. In fact, I lost the co-main event. Make a co-main event. This is the budget, and just put a good fight together. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom. Get to Boston. I hate the cold. It's snowing. This is literally how it happened. I get to the hotel. Now we had to carry what we call the body bag, full of the ring dressings, of the Golden Boy dressings, everything. It was Telefutura. And I called the local promoter. I said, hey, I'm at the hotel. I got this body bag full of ring dressings. Can you send somebody to pick me up? There wasn't Ubers.
No.
There was taxis, of course, but there wasn't Ubers back then. And I said, can you send somebody to pick me up to take me to the arena and drop off the bag? Sorry, man, I don't have nobody. So what do I do? What do I do? I'm not going to be calling the office
Honestly,
saying,
yeah.
hey, what do I do
What
in
do I do?
this situation?
You have to improvise yourself.
All right, what do I do? I get my cart from the hotel, the luggage, the
And you
baggage
carry
cart.
the whole.
I put the bag, and I'm walking 5 blocks
Oh, way.
in the snow. Not heavy snow, but it's
But it's
snowing,
snowing.
right?
Cold.
And I'm cold as hell. So I get to the arena. It's called the Castle. So there's no heat in there. It's like an old castle, and it's freezing inside. And hey, ring guys, I'll pay you a few dollars. Put this ring together. Dress it up for me. Nah, bro, we're almost done putting it together. We're out of here. Okay, who's gonna do it?
You had to
Now
do.
I've never done a ring at the time. I've never done a ring. So okay, the main event was Antonio Escalante against a kid Berranza from Nacho Benistein's gym.
Mm-hmm.
Escalante was the Golden Boy fighter from El Paso. Doesn't make weight. It's my main event, Telefutura. All right, Escalante, our guy, go make weight. In the meantime, guys, somebody stay back, wait till he comes back. They all leave. I get the call. Oh no, Escalante comes back, and I say, you can't get on the scale yet. Hey guys, he's back. They're having their dinner, their lunch, whatever. Hey, he's back. I need one of you guys to come back, and so you can witness the scale. They're not coming back. Meanwhile, I have pressure now from Escalante saying, bro, let me get on scale. I already cut weight. I want to drink. I know, give me 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Eventually, he was like, who's the Golden Boy fighter? Who are we trying to bet? I'm like, all right, get on the scale. Hey, cameras, fucking record, commission, please, Telefutura, you guys wait. By the time the other side walks in, which they were really late, Escalante's drinking Gatorade, we're not fighting. We never saw him make weight. And I'm like, I remember Jaime Quintana was the acting manager. I'm like, Jaime, bro, why am I going to lie to you, man? This is my first show. And that's exactly why. It's your first show. You want this to go with no problem. I said, look, the producer's here. Victor Bagay, I still remember his name from Telefutura. I said, Victor. He goes, yeah, he made weight. I saw it. Of course you saw it. You want the show to go. So I'm getting all these. I'm like, oh my. Again.
What about the film? They couldn't get the film, or?
They didn't film it. Because it was after the weigh-in, basically. Mm-hmm. And it was the second, when he came back, they were gone. The crew was gone. And I'm like, dude, there's no handbook or anything.
Damn.
You just got to improvise and deal with it. Sat down with Jaime for 2 hours. The fight went on. That co-main event that I made, like on the, on the dime, just really quick. Here's your budget. Put it together. There's an article. This was my first show, Ricky. And again, I was ready to quit. I had to dress up the ring. In fact, that night after the weigh-in, I'm dressing up the ring. Victor walks by and he goes, aren't you the matchmaker? And I said, yeah. He goes, and you're dressing the ring? I said, I'll be announcing tomorrow, too. Just because at that point.
Why not, right?
And he laughed. And later, after the show, I had to tear down the ring, put it back in the bag. Now I'm walking back to the hotel. And I've been there since about 2 o'clock in the afternoon before the fighters had to check in. It's probably close to 10:30 at night now. And I'm walking back with my bag. Now it's freezing. All I think of is I'm hungry. I want to drink. I want to get out of here. Get to the hotel. Restaurant's closed.
Oh,
No
you're
room
starving.
service. No nothing.
Shit.
I'm back in my room, pissed off again. I'm ready to. This is not for me. This is not the life I wanted. And the next day, I get an article. I don't know if they sent it or it's Fight News. I still have it to this day, Ricky. And it said, this is what matchmaking's all about.
Wow.
And the article was on the co-main event. Humberto Tapia from Tijuana, who's passed since, against a kid, Puerto Rican descent from New York named Jeffrey Resto. 8-rounder, not a big fight.
But it was
Very clean fight, toe-to-toe, almost no referee involved. And that gave me como that message that
fucking.
aguántate, it's going to get better. Aguántate.
Yeah.
And the next show wasn't any better. The next show was in Chicago, even colder. Danny Jacobs was on. The Velasquez brothers, a couple kids that we had from Puerto Rico.
That's when Daniel Jacobs were coming up, right?
Coming up, I want to say it was probably his 10th fight. A mess in that show. Not fight-wise, logistically-wise, it was just a lot of challenges. The day after the fights, I get back to the hotel. After the show, I went to dinner, and then I go to the hotel, and I see chaos in the lobby. And I'm thinking, oh, they're just partying, having a good time. And I walk in, how are we getting home? How are we getting home? All the teams, the Golden Boy fighters, pues. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? The same way you got here. They picked you up. They brought you. They'll take you to, go look at our drivers. I go to next door is a bar. And they were loaded. They were loaded. And I'm like, guys, ya córtenle. You guys take the fighters to the airport in the morning. Our job's done, bro. So I start calling the local promoter to say, hey, your drivers, who's going to take them? No answer. The show's done. The show's estuvo. You know, you're on your own. So I had to go to the front desk and tell the girl, help me hire shuttles. You got to pay, deposit, ATM, withdrawals, and pay, you know, drop off. And, okay, you're going with him. You're going with him. I think Luis de Cubas was there because he had the Velasquez brothers, Luis de Cubas. And got it all fixed.
Senior or junior?
Junior. And got it all settled, got everybody on their shuttles, head to the airport. But again, I'm like, this is not match. I mean, there's a lot more to it of dealing with those headaches.
But they left you in charge of it because a matchmaker is supposed to be matchmaking.
All you do is matchmaking, but in the little shows to save on cost and everything, it wasn't like other people
they didn't have a staff to.
And the staff was supposed to be from the local promoter that handled all that.
Gotcha.
You just took like the TV fights, and the local promoter would do the undercard. And they would split revenue and stuff like that. But it was like, this is not what I mean, my first 2 shows were headache. After that, it was like smooth sailing. It was, you know, it got better and better and better. Then, obviously, with the years, I was there for 15 years. With the years, there was some moments. I'll tell you one right now where I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, and it's a very funny story. But it just got smoother to well, no matter what came to me, dude, it could be fixed. No matter what. Two stories real quick that come to mind with that. I'm in Cozumel. We had a Televisa show. The main event was a world title eliminator, Librado Andrade, against a kid from Chicago. And it's been beautiful all week. Beautiful all week. And it starts raining in Cozumel, the little island by Cancun, right? And
is that where I was with you? Where
in a ballpark?
I remember staying because we were in Cancun together as well. I had Fernando Guerrero and what's the 2 brothers?
From West Side.
Yeah, Jose
and Nacho.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that wasn't this one. No, this was across from Cancun in a little island, even smaller than Cancun.
No.
And again, beautiful all week, and it's pouring that day. And it's not that bad that it's pouring. The problem is we were in a ballpark for the show.
It's getting flooded.
And it's raining, and it's like, oh my God, our attendance is going to have, you know, it's going to affect start time, everything. So I'm waiting in the hotel till all the fighters load up and head over to the park. Mm-hmm. I wait for Abner Mares and his wife to get in, and I go with them. That was the last shuttle going. And as you're driving, like the rain stops in the whole island. You only see one cloud of rain right above the park. And it's almost like this is on purpose, right?
Wow.
So I remember walking into the park and Raul Jaimes comes all stressed out. We got a problem. We got a problem. And I'm like, I know it's raining. No, it's bigger than that. I said, fuck, snowing? It's going to snow in Cozumel, but I'm just trying to be positive
Yeah.
and not get so stressed. He goes, no, they're threatening to quit, not fight. This was Librado's opponent. So I walk in. His management attorney, Leon Margulis, tells me, we're not fighting in that ring. And I'm like, why? He goes, that's too small. And our agreement says you guys were going to get a 20 by 20, and that's not a 20 by 20. I said, well, how do you know it's not a 20 by 20? We measured it already, and it's not. It's 18 by 18. And I'm like, oh, my God. Let me see the contract. I didn't have a copy of the contract. And it does say, we'll make best efforts, if not whatever commission approves. So I went to the commissioner. Hey, you're approving this ring? He goes, of course. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. I said, he said, there's a fight going on. Of course it's approved. Leon, we got to fight. No, we're not fighting. We're not fighting. So at that point, I'm not going to stress. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to play the game. If it's more money, is it more money? What do we need to do to fix it? No, it's not that. We're not fighting. Okay. Get me a couple shuttles. If you're not fighting, then don't read to be here. Go back to the hotel. And I'm going to tell the officials, IBF, everybody, if you're not going to fight. Don't. So I get everybody and officials, everybody on a shuttle, taken back. And I stand outside. And I said, don't worry. Raul's all stressed. What are we doing?
They'll come back.
Pepe Gomez. I said, give it 5 minutes. The shuttle will come right back.
Uh-huh.
I'd probably still be waiting today. The shuttle never came back.
No fucking
never came back.
Because Leon, I know Leon since I was 16 years old. He could be, but go ahead.
At that point, they stood their ground. And it wasn't purposely done. I'll tell you, Cozumel's a little island. That's probably the only ring they had. But in hindsight, it did benefit Librado, the smaller ring, because I don't have to chase you. Where I think his kid's name was Donovan George from Chicago or something, George. He was a mover. So
it was good for Librado.
Obviously, it was good for Librado. But that's not why it was done. I'm standing outside. They're going to come back any minute. Getting soaked. Never came back. Okay, let's fix it. Co-main event. You're now the main event. I think it was Carlos Cuadras, who is world champion again today. Move up the other TV, move up the fights. Yeah. And it was the last show of the year. I think it was like a November, December. I said, let's just finish and get this done and over with and on to the next. That's one that was a little stressful, but it got fixed. And that, obviously, like I said, the show must go on. There's no perfect show. You know it.
Of course.
You're always going to have obstacles. You're always going to have something thrown at you.
You
turn off the fire and
play.
move on. Yeah, always. This guy comes in overweight, 8 pounds, 12 pounds. What do you do?
Yeah.
The other one was San Jose, California. I don't remember the year. HBO, Robert the Ghost Guerrero against Selçuk Aydin. I'm in San Jose. I take care of everything. Now, Don Chargan had told me a story. And this I had nightmares about. I carried my gloves and I carried my scale everywhere I went. When I went to a show, I'd take my gloves and I'd take my scale. And the reason was Don Chargan told me of a show he had in El Paso where they're getting ready to start TV. It was a Telefutura. And, hey, where's the gloves? Well, I didn't bring the gloves. You brought the gloves. You brought the gloves. Everybody's pointing fingers and there's no gloves. They had to send somebody to Juarez to go buy gloves and then come back. But by this time, it delayed the start time. There was no gloves.
Wow.
So I've had nightmares then of waking up
and you don't have
and thinking I was in a show and I had no gloves. So that's why I would always carry a big duffel bag, check it in, but I would take my gloves with me. So now I'm in San Jose. The fight's getting ready to start. The fight starts. We have Guerrero. Aydin's the challenger. I believe it was an eliminate or world title fight. It was at 147. I get a text. Maybe 140, 140. I don't remember the weight exactly. But I get a text from a cousin saying, hey, it's Selçuk Aydin. But he wasn't in boxing. He's a fan of boxing, so I don't know specifically that he knew rules. So he asked me, "Is Aidin wearing bigger gloves because he's the bigger guy and Guerrero's coming from featherweight?"
Yeah.
I don't answer because I'm watching the fight. Maybe by the third or fourth round, Eric Gomez calls me. He goes, "Hey, are you sure you gave Aidin 8-ounce and not 10?" Oh, shit. Now you're putting doubt. Now I'm looking.
Shit.
Now, Ricky, all I'm thinking is the scandal
It's gonna happen.
that's going to happen if one guy's wearing 10 and one guy's wearing 8. The headline, cheating, controversy.
Yeah.
Robert, you're fucking fired.
Yeah.
It's over for you. So I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Oh, man. Now I'm stressed because I'm doubting myself.
Yeah.
Did I bring 8-ounce? Did I give him 10? But I gave it to the trainer. Hey, the trainer should have seen it. You know, the after the weigh-in, he should.
What weight was this at?
I believe it was 140 or 147. So
if it's
either way, they
140,
had to have 8s.
Correct.
I turn around. Louis de Cubas Junior represents Guerrero. So I said, "Hey, Louis, did you check the gloves for the opponent?" "Yeah." "And they're 8s, right?" "Yeah." And then I go, "Yeah, but if they're 10s, you wouldn't have told me. You would prefer them." So I'm like, I'm asking the wrong guy. Now, it gets worse. It gets worse. Ahmed Owner represents Aidin, the German Turco.
Yeah.
Good friend. He represented Gamboa, Lara. He had all those fighters at one time. The heavyweight Cuban. He gets a call from Gamboa. Yorkis Gamboa calls them. I mean, they're sitting right next to me. This is about the 6th, 7th round now. And I hear Ahmed's partner on the phone with Gamboa. He hangs up. He says, the partner tells Ahmed, "They fucked us. They're mad. They gave us 10-ounce."
Wow.
So now you got that first text, Eric,
and
Gamboa, and I'm thinking, puta man, que se apague la luz.
Yeah.
Let the power go out. Let's get this fight to be canceled. Something happened. I really can't believe I didn't have a heart attack. As anxious, as stressed as I was.
Wow.
Ahmed starts yelling at me. I'm like, Ahmed, at that point, what am I going to say? Ahmed, no way, dude. No way. Your trainer would have seen it. Now I'm trying to pass the buck to somebody else. Your trainer would have caught it if I would have given him 10. No, that's not true, Ahmed. Trust me. Why would I do that, Ahmed? That's illegal. And now I'm thinking, fuck. Now I don't know if I want this to be one of those 100 rounds que nunca se acabe, or want it to be short and get it over with. I'm like, man. The fight's over. It goes 12 rounds. I get in the ring. My first person I go to is the ref.
Did you check
Did you check the gloves? He goes, "Yeah, everything's good." But how can I trust? Did he check them? I don't know. I thought I checked them. I go to the supervisor, Che. And I said, "Hey, Che Guevara, that was his name." I said, "Hey, Che, did you check the gloves? Everything good?" Yeah, everything's good. But by now, they're unwrapping the gloves, and I turned my back. And I said, "Okay, there's only one way I'm going to find out. If there's a riot right now, those are 10-ounce. If everything's peace and quiet, they're 8-ounce. So I turn around slowly, and the gloves are off, and the team's calm.
Okay.
So I walk up now to Ahmed, and I said, "Are you happy now, Ahmed?" They haven't even given the decision. "Are you happy now?"
So what caused that?
I asked Ernie, our friend Ernie Gabion.
Gabion, he's a great guy.
And I said, "Hey, Ernie." He said the white gives like a
bigger
bigger, it just gives that vision.
Yeah.
And I said, "Fuck, I never want to see white gloves in my life." Anytime I see white gloves, Ricky,
you had me stressed right now.
I was what the fuck was it? Stressed.
You had me stressed right now. I think, what were they? Man, tell me, what were they?
I just imagine the headline, the controversy but that's how a simple mistake could be blown up into something really bad. And that's where I learned double check, triple check. Don't ask somebody, "Did you check?"
You have to do
check. And that goes now even for any fights, they check the scale.
Yeah.
I go now because I represent fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with a little dumbbell that says 2 or 3 pounds, and I'll put it on the scale. I want to see that it says 2 or 3 pounds. Oh, it's
Correct.
been calibrated.
Nope.
I want to make sure that
Yeah.
it's because that they say, well, let me get on the scale and check it. I don't know what I woke up this morning, so I don't know what I'm going to weigh. I want to be precise for my fighters,
Exactly.
So I'll take a little dumbbell and I'll check little things of the trade that you learn. I want to see the gloves. I want to see, just little things. I want to step into the ring sometimes because I took a fighter to a show where Rudy Hernandez actually told me, hey, check the ring, bro. I checked it earlier, and I went in and checked the ring, and it was quicksand. It was quicksand, and we had a fighter that moved, that was quick on his
he would have
feet,
been fucking.
that it had to get fixed. And as much as we tried to fix it to make it a faster ring,
Yeah.
it wasn't ideal. So there's little things that you have to go through that we learn
Yeah.
that say, okay, it could happen once, but not twice.
So as a matchmaker, is that your responsibility to make sure that the mat is fast or slow for a fighter? Or
Not really.
the putting up the ropes?
Not really. That came with
Your
being
experience.
one of those that said, I'm not going to sit back and wait for somebody else to do it or take care of it. Or as a matchmaker, really, your role is find the talent
Yeah.
that you think can develop into something, build their careers while giving the fans a fight, but also building him with the progress of not too fast, not too slow. It's not a science, but it's also it's also there's a blueprint. And the way I saw it, again, I said earlier that I didn't want to build a record. I wanted to build a champion. I was very fortunate to have worked with some of the great athletes that went through Golden Boy, and even as at the opposing side and everything, to see dreams come true and fighters make those accomplishments. That really fulfilled, because better than I do that not anybody can do it. You get that call in midnight, hey, I'm not fighting tomorrow because I woke up sick and I'm throwing up, or I'm not going to make weight. You want to throw the phone. I mean, I must have gone through 22 phones in the 15, one every year or one every month, just breaking it against the wall. But all those bad calls get erased when you see and you or hear and you see that fulfillment, that dream come true, and all that hard work from a 4-rounder turn into a world champion. That fulfills you. And to me, one of the most fulfilling is when I saw father and son. Those were my best moments of and you, because that father and son dream didn't start yesterday. It started years ago when they first laced up the gloves, and the father's like, we're going to be a world champion. And people thought he was crazy. Estás loco.
Yeah.
And finally, after all those years, they hear, So to me, seeing the Omar Figueroa father.
What were the biggest fights, Robert, that you could tell our fans? What were the biggest fights that you matched up and say, I'm proud that I made that fight, Just give me 5 big fights.
One that comes to mind that was a local fight that I tried to do 4 times before it actually happened. Mm-hmm. 4 times it fell apart. It happened on the 5th one. It happened at the Velasco. Believe it or not, it was a very small show, sold out. The best Velasco crowd, ticket-wise and crowd-wise. We had to open up an additional room where the fans couldn't see it live, but they put a screen on to watch it. And it was Yoshihiro Kamagai against Jesus Soto Caras.
Wow.
A fight that I had a budget to do on TV Estrella. I want to say it was like 15,000 each. Wow. And this is a fight that you go to 2 guys that have made much more to that, and basically telling them,
this is what we have.
Life and death, because it's going to be a fight.
Caras, especially Caras.
And all I can pay you is this much because that's my budget. I remember thinking when I made the fight, it's going to be a hell of a fight while it lasts, but Kamagai is physically too strong, too young, and too active. And being so proud after the fight because it was a draw. And I said, thank God, because nobody deserved to lose.
Yeah.
It was that good of a fight. and then HBO picked up the rematch. And it wasn't that much more money, but it was like, okay, at least they can
They're
do
gonna,
it again on a level that they deserve. And Kamagai won the rematch. But that's one of the fights that I remember because it just, I tried so hard. It got to the point where I said, there's a reason it's not happening, Robert. Let it go. It's not meant to be. So I'm glad I made it happen. Jesus Soto Caras is one of the great personalities, people outside of boxing, inside the ring that I ever worked with. People need to know how humble and how much heart he put into his fights.
Oh yeah, you know, I work with him, with Joe. We train them to fight Mike Jones.
When he was a top rank still.
We stopped
Yeah.
and we fought Mike Jones at the Cowboy Stadium. Let me tell you something. I think we got robbed that night. You know, he came out and performed, but he is one of the most
He's so
funny.
humble, funny, just a good around guy. Makes a great ceviche or aguachile.
With a michelada.
With a michelada. There you go. Then I want to say Randy Caballero. You know, taking Randy Caballero
From
to
Coachella, right?
Monaco from Coachella, a kid that basically I built from that beginning stage, maybe his fifth fight, sixth fight, into an eliminator. We went to Japan. He wins the eliminator. Now we're going to Monaco to fight for the world title. And everybody, I mean, the arena's small in Monaco, maybe holds 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
When I say we only had 2 fans for Randy, that's it.
Wow.
He met some people in Monaco. They saw the colors of Nicaragua. Hey, I like your shirt. Are you from Nicaragua? Yeah. Oh, we are too. We're here on vacation. Come watch my fight. They end up buying tickets and show up. And everybody was with the opponent. And Randy fought fight of his life. It was great. Wins the world title. And seeing him and his father embrace and hear a new world champion,
That's
that
amazing.
fulfilled me. That just gave me everything. Unfortunately, with Randy, he never tasted to defend his title in his first defense on a Canelo Cotto undercard. He doesn't make weight and loses the title on the scale.
Wow.
But it was very particular. I mean, it was very weird how it would happen, how it transcored of him not making weight. He was at weight, a pound up the night before when he went to bed, and then wakes up like 2-3 pounds heavy the morning
That's
of.
really weird.
It was really weird. And
Something happened.
I keep telling him, you woke up in the
Yeah.
middle of the night and
You
sonambulo,
ate something, yeah,
sleepwalking. You must have had a steak, cabrón. That's one of them. Paulie Malignaggi is another one because we went to Ukraine to fight Sejenko, who was undefeated. Now, you know, Rocky inspired many young fighters, many young kids to turn into boxing and become world champions. But I say that this is like the real life Rocky. You got an Italian in Paulie, Ukrainian in Sejenko. We go to Ukraine and we're fighting him in a baseball, in a soccer stadium. Paulie's doesn't have knockouts. He doesn't stop people. But we went through so many little obstacles and problems and issues getting there. Not getting there, but during fight week with gloves and adrenaline and just all kinds of things that batting, getting through. I just wanted to make sure Paulie was at peace and knew that I had his back. On the other side, I had the promoter questioning everything I was like objecting to and problems, and even as far as I'm taking the referee off, you can't take the referee off. I'm the promoter, and watch me, and calling the organization and protesting and having the referee removed and then having the referee be put back, and just a bunch of stuff that was like, unless you lived it, you can't believe everything. And that's what the fans don't understand, all the behind the scenes stuff that we go through. But I was doing it and knowing I was causing, rough and just shaking too many feathers there and stuff, but letting Paulie know, I got your back. I'm here with you. You're not alone. And then Paulie wins by knockout.
Wow.
Paulie doesn't knock out anybody, right? And Paulie wins by knockout. And I remember the team celebrating, jumping up in the ring in the center, and I'm like, guys, take it to the dressing room. Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Before we give up.
Let's get out of here. Because all eyes were like, ugh. And, Sejenko was much bigger physically than him, undefeated. but a lot of head games there. A lot of head games were played. I kept telling them in the press conference, "Don't worry. After we beat you, we'll give you the rematch." And just it was a very big growth spurt right there of now really being at a different level. And I really enjoyed that victory because even when I came back to LA, it was like, wow,
Yeah.
he brought back the
The
title.
crowd, yeah.
Wow. And it was like, yeah. And that created a good friendship and bond to this day with Paulie.
Yeah. He's one of the very cool guy, man.
He's cool. He's cool. He's sometimes, he's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
too voice. I'm like,
Yeah.
Paulie, not so fast.
I think that's why he got fired from
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Now, Robert, now that you mentioned that, the bonus point here, so we could end our beautiful conversation, because we could go on here for days, and I know your stories. What led up to you leaving Golden Boy?
15 beautiful years. You know what? I learned a lot. Again, I'm very fortunate to have worked with you name it.
The
I
be-
mean,
the best in the
Bernard
game.
Hopkins and obviously working for Oscar and some of the youngest talent that came out. I mean, one of my proudest moments also is bringing the heavyweight title back to America after many years because
Wilder?
Deontay debuted with Golden Boy. And his last fight with Golden Boy was the fight when he beat Stavern for the world title. I took the belt to his room and I said, "I'm proud of you." We shut up a lot of critics. There was a lot of critics say, "Oh, he's only fighting tomato cans. He's only fighting."
Yeah.
I said, "But we won the title, brought it back to America. Now go do your thing." I'm a big fan of Deontay's. After 15 years, I think it was time. Ricky. I mean, again, it was great experience for me. I loved it.
Well, yeah, I could tell your experience. You're learning putting ropes, canvas.
I would have never done all that or learned all that. Working with Miguel Cotto.
Yeah.
Great relationship with Miguel Cotto. I'll tell so the fans know this one, and I don't know if Miguel will appreciate this one, but my 50th birthday, I invited Miguel. Him and Brian and Hector were at my party here in LA. And I had a little band playing, but they were Cuban, playing salsa. People are dancing and I'm dancing and stuff. And next thing you know, you hear a change in the accent. It's still salsa, but a change. I got on the chin and I turn around and Miguel Cotto singing.
No way.
And here's the thing that many people have that misconcept of Miguel. Es medio serio, es medio, he's very shy, but he's very funny and very cool, very open when he's, comfortable with his
people.
surrounding. Exactly. So him and I have an amazing relationship. After he left Rock Nation, right before he called me and said, if I get my release, will you sign me? And I've always been, even when we was Top Rank, I've always been a big fan of Miguel Cotto. And I'm like, are you crazy? Of course. But we were friends, but never really talking about business. It was just a very good, legit friendship. And I said, of course I'd sign you. His very first fight with Golden Boy, he fought Kamagai for the world title, wins the world title again. That's one of my biggest
big moments
of feeling accomplished. Because during the time, Puerto Rico, as we all know, is always been star-studded boxing and have champions. At the time, Puerto Rico had no world champions. And in a period of 6 months, we crowned Miguel, obviously wins the world title. Alberto Machado wins the world title. Tito Acosta wins the world title. And Jesus Rojas wins the world title. All within ourselves in Golden Boy and Cotto Promotions. Rojas wasn't with Miguel Cotto, but I had signed Rojas. And he wins the world. So within 6 months, we had 4 world champions back in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
That gave me a sense of, hey, this is chingon because that goes down.
Hell yeah.
And going back to your question, after 15 years, it was time. My contract came up. We didn't meet eye to eye. We didn't agree on some terms and things. And it was like, you know what?
Move on.
It's time to move on. And at first it was difficult after 15 years of not being in the routine of the same thing over and over. But at the same time, it was like a vacation, take a break, don't have the stress anymore. Although last year, again, here goes the other
curveball.
The last one at this moment, hopefully it's the last one for a long time. I had a major heart attack April of last year, almost a year.
Really,
now.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I had a major heart attack.
What do you think caused that heart attack, Robert?
You know, you
Stress.
would think that the stress during the years at matchmaking would have caused it.
Yeah.
But now I'm not doing it. But now it makes sense that you hear so many stories of people that retire, the fireman that retires, or the
Yeah.
policeman that retires, or the person that finally retires,
It
and
dies
then they
faster.
have the heart attack, or
Yeah.
then they die. It's like, dude, that sucks. You once you retire, instead of enjoying the
Enjoy.
last years, you die off like that. So I think there was a stress of what's next. What am I gonna do? You know, there was some calls. Hey, you want to come matchmake for me? You want to come matchmake for me? And there was always like, well, I'm a matchmaker. That's what I do. And then there was like, nah, man, I don't want to go do this again. And like not start over, but stress over and go back on the road every weekend and lose fights every weekend and oh man, and try to repair. I'm like, no, you know what? What is it that I really enjoy of the matchmaking? And that's working with fighters. Okay, why don't I do this now? Let's go work with some fighters. But now knowing what the promoter has to go through,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of times the fighter or the team comes over and says, well, I want more money, no matter what it is. Here's the offer. No, well, I deserve more. Now knowing really how the landscape is and really what is fair in the payments and what is really out there. And it's going to change. It's actually changing. It's going towards a downward but I don't think fighters are going to see it now like, well, they're paying less. No, it's getting more to they're paying reality,
Yeah.
you know, because things are changing out there.
There's always a budget.
There has to be, and you have to go by a budget. And any promoter or somebody that says I can pay you more than there is, you may be able to do it once or twice, but you can't do it over a long period because otherwise you're going to lose money. Nobody's there to lose money. So now knowing that this side has to make money, of course, and this side has to make money, I think what I can do is bring it to a happy medium where both sides are happy.
Yeah.
Or maybe both sides are not happy, but it's right in the middle to where it's fair. And that's what I've been doing since last year. And it's been great, you know, because I could pick and choose what show I want to go to, what fight I want to go to. Oh, I need to be there with you. Recently, I retired a couple of fighters that I worked with for many years. That's always the toughest thing. It was always tough as in the promotional side. But because I'm going to be closer now to the fighters, I want to make sure that they don't go past their time. I went last year with Jorge Linares in his last fight to Liverpool. It was competitive, but I saw that, llega un momento that the body's not doing what the mind wants.
Because he was a badass.
He was very fast. He was very good, very technical. Very good kid, very good-hearted. I'm actually very happy for him right now. He's training fighters, and I think he's going to make for a very good trainer. Pablo Cesar Cano, same thing. I just told him that's it. We were very close for many years. I brought him on to Golden Boy since he was like 18, 36, 37 now, and he just lost in a world title eliminator. But
not the same.
Not the same. He couldn't throw more than one punch at a time. He's a big puncher. But I'm like, Pablo, what good is it if you could punch if you're not letting your hands go?
Yeah.
And it's tough, but I can live with it because I know that I'm not putting you in to get hurt. I was happy he did the fight. He got some money in his pocket to take care of him and put a little business in Mexico. But ya estuvo, you know. Same for Jorge. And I'm getting those calls. To help them.
So now that you're not matchmaking, you're basically managing fighters now?
I'm advising fighters. I'm managing fighters. I'm with Cheer Sports, helping them as well.
I just saw you at the press conference. I was kind of curious. Why? He's back. He's back.
He's back. You know what? Boxing is like a...
You can't leave it, right, bro?
We can't leave it. We're trying to get away, and it pulls you back. No, I love boxing. It's my passion.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm excited as a fan for this May 4th. Canelo and Munguia is going to be a hell of a fight. You know, Oscar's been saying it. He's right. We've been craving and thirsty of a Mexican all-out war. What better day than the Cinco de Mayo weekend? Obviously, there's a closeness with Munguia, having worked with him for some years.
Yeah.
But there's also a closeness with Canelo, having worked with him for so many years. I'm going to be there as a fan to enjoy and my wife works for Canelo, so there's that.
What is
Team Canelo?
What's your wife's name?
Carla
Is
Diaz.
she the one that's in charge of?
She handles the day to day and all his investments and business.
Very
and
strict.
all that.
I remember. I remember. I was at Charlo. Sit down. She goes, "No, these seats are taken." I go, "Okay, I'm sorry."
You're like, I'm with the promotion.
Yeah, but still, that's Canelo's section, which people don't know. You gotta respect everybody. Everybody has a role in boxing. Some people like you're saying, you have your role as a matchmaker at Golden Boy. People know somebody has to put these fights together, but they don't know the face.
Correct.
And now people, I mean, God willing, this reaches millions of people that could say, "Well, okay, Robert Diaz, this is who he is."
No, well, I mean, one thing is you hear it from fighters a lot, and obviously I learned a lot from fighters. I tell the fans, learn from your fighters. Life is like a boxing match, or boxing match is like life. There might not be a perfect round.
Yeah.
There's going to be knockdowns. You got to get up and keep moving up.
Yeah.
Learn from your fighters. Don't throw in the towel. There's going to be heart attack, cancer, car accident, gang fights. Get through it and always believe in yourself and try
your
to move
story
forward.
and your story and you an example of the people and what you accomplished, Robert. You know what? So much stuff I learned from you today. I mean, I've seen you in the years in boxing, and you have your role. I have my role, and sometimes the trainers have the peasant role. You know what I mean? But when I will see you, Robert, I go, okay. Damn.
It's unfortunate. You just said it. It's unfortunate, and I think there has to be some kind of adjustment and change. I mean, boxing. Look, we're always learning how to make it better. The trainer has probably one of the toughest jobs, and I say this because you guys get the little boy who doesn't even know how to tie the shoes when he walks into the gym at 7, 8 years old, 6 years old. It's almost like a daycare for the parents. Let me drop him off right now and go take off and
Raising
go do my
him.
thing. And you guys are a father, a psychologist, a friend, a trainer. You guys have all those hats. And then that day when that fighter gets big, or hopefully not all of them obviously make it there, but then there's that change of bye, ahí nos vemos, I think the payoff is here. You wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't that passion.
Correct.
Because you're not doing it for glory and money, because it that's the luck of the draw. But there has to be some other way of protecting, The manager can sign him and he's protected for 5 years. The promoter could sign him, he's protected for 5 years. The trainer can't. If anybody should be able to sign, it should be the trainer,
We're putting all that hard work
24 hours a day. Well, all those every day. Pero obviously they say, oh, but they have more numbers. They have, if they earn it because they're training, they're doing something right. But
see, this is the thing. We go back and forth with people. We get 10%. Managers get 23%, whatever.
Up to 33
Up
now,
to 33%.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when they start making millions and millions, we're going to put you at a cap.
We're going to cap you.
And But the manager
gets it. Yeah.
I'm building your fighter, man.
Yeah.
You got to, Abel Sanchez is a good friend of mine. So Abel Sanchez is, I think, one of the first trainers, I think, that made a contract for himself. And he had that with Triple G. Even that, towards the end, it didn't work out. Contracts don't mean shit no more sometimes. It's sad.
And that's sad, and that's one thing that people have to acknowledge. Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's been with the same team from day one.
Loyalty.
Look, of course, fans are in boxing. They're never happy, and they could be picking here and picking there, and nitpicking here and nitpicking there. But you got to respect that and admire that, because it's a handshake deal that is
solid.
And I know because I could say that that's going to go to the end. When he retires, it's going to be with the same team because that's who he is. It's very rare.
Robert, we could go on, man. It was an honor to have you. I love your stories, and I'm glad you overcame that cancer. I'm glad you overcame your heart attack. And you look fresh, man. You look young.
Ahí estamos todavía.
And Robert, thank you so much. And
Thank you, man. It's an
taking
honor.
your time.
Thank you so much.
Robert, your fans here, where will they follow you? Okay, Mr. Michelada.
Michelada time on Instagram and Twitter. Anytime, any place. Hey, I'm always there for the fans without you guys. And that's what I was going to say. The fighters always say, and I learned this from them, that boxing has given me so much, you know. And in my case, it has. I've traveled the world. I've been very honored to work with some of the greatest athletes, learn from them, again, from the young ones that didn't make it because of discipline. It hurts. It pisses me off. For Frankie Gomez, man, if you're listening, come back, Frankie. We need you, man. That was
he's in TJ right now, right?
Huh?
He's in TJ right now?
I don't know. I know that's Bojado was in TJ.
Oh, Bojado. Sorry, yeah. Frankie Gomez. Yeah, Frankie was supposed to be the superstar,
was supposed
man.
to be a superstar.
Yeah.
And to the ones that are coming up that I see today, I'm so proud of you guys. The Virgil Ortiz, you know, the William Cepeda, all these young kids that I worked with that are now getting that close to those world titles. I send them all the best, man.
Awesome. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Man.